So this is looking at space heating demand in buildings, which is a key passive house criteria, and it's a good proxy for how a building's fabric is performing. So the Passive House Trust, for our first edition of this report, worked with Letty to build a stock model of the UK's existing domestic buildings, which was then used to kind of model the space heating demand profile for our homes in the UK, down by building form. So those are the vertical bars that you see on that graph. Um, and some of you may remember that part of the graph from our previous work. And it sort of revealed that the average UK space heating demand is around 20 to 30 kilowatt hours per meter squared per annum, with a typical new building coming in closer to the 85 kilowatt hours per meter squared per annum, just for space heating demand. And that's including the performance gap, which we're still seeing in the new build sector. So what's new today is how we understand deep retrofit and the flexibility each of these standards is shown here to deliver. So we've kind of put these horizontal bars on to show you the range of energy space heating demand that the different retrofit approaches can deliver. So rather than seeing the Enerfit target as one set number, so the space heating demand approach to Enerfit would give you a set number for most of the UK of 25 kilowatt hours per meter squared per annum. We're primarily viewing Enerfit now through the component approach lens, which gives us a typical range from 25 all the way up to 80 kilowatt hours per meter squared per annum. So the heating demand method is still represented, on here, and it remains very applicable to some projects, especially those with excellent form factors. We're also showing on the graph here the AECB Carbon Light Retrofit Standard, which leans heavily on Enerfit. It leverages the Passive House tools and methodologies while kind of relaxing just some of the targets a bit, but also adding a few complementary assessments around things like radon levels, moisture, and water usage. So we felt like it was a really useful tool and standard as well to represent on this graph. But this is the key here, is we're trying to take the existing stock and just shift it left a bit. So we're trying to move it over to those retrofit standards.